This sounds like a very interesting question. So I'm going to give you my take based on the 134 comments here. And by the way, notice that I'm creating this video while being driven by the other users. So this is a good example of being a prosumer and not just a consumer. A consumer only consumes information and you're not creating anything valuable for other people or for yourself. A prosumer means you're consuming, but you're also producing something valuable. So anyways, let's take a look at the comments. So don't be afraid of making mistakes. It's true that you have to take action and not be afraid. But I would disagree with the idea of making mistakes because nowadays with artificial intelligence, with expert systems, with so much free training online, you don't have to make mistakes anymore. Unless what you're doing is so new to the world that you're the first person to do it, then you have to make the mistakes that pioneers usually make. But for the most part, your business is not that new. So you can learn from other people. Like Warren Buffett said, the best way to learn is from other people's mistakes. So it costs you nothing. So don't take action too early. And this relates to this advice of start, don't stop. It's true, once again, that you got to take action, but you have to be both a soldier and a general. You can't just take action and never stop. Okay, sometimes you have to stop and you have to look at the chessboard. You have to look at the overall situation and reevaluate your options and really determine your assets and strategize. And very much like a chess player, a chess player will take a long time to evaluate all the possible moves, and then he will make exactly the best move at that time, and he will repeat this process. Yeah, it's true that if you don't picture it within you, if you don't feel it, if you don't act out this persona, this character, like as if you were an actor, if you don't act out like a rich person and think and talk and even eat and behave and walk like a rich person, like a confident person, it's never going to happen in your life. In other words, at every moment you have to sort of audition for the role of a millionaire. So, for example, if you're always looking for discounts and you're always trying to save money, well, you're not acting like a millionaire, and therefore you cannot attract, you cannot activate, you cannot summon all the millionaire opportunities around you. So you really have to act like a rich person. And this might mean, you have to abandon the friends that are not helping you to achieve your financial goals. I mean, not abandon them, but, see them less often. And you got to make new friends online. It's easier than ever. Make new friends and talk to people who are smart financially, who are smart in business, who are ambitious. Uh, Become happy with less along the way. I disagree with that. Why would you um, try to be happy with less? I mean, there is no less, there's no scarcity. This is really a huge myth that people have to abandon. There's abundance everywhere. So the person who lives in poverty basically lives in an abundance of poverty. There's no scarcity in the world. Whatever you want to create, you can create. But the person who thinks you can live with less, that you can be happy with less, I mean, that's just a belief. It's not true at all. You can be happy and make a lot of money and have super abundance in your life. Yeah, let go of people who are not financially smart or business smart or who are not ambitious. You have to let them go, because when you hang on to them, the people who are ignorant about business and finance and wealth and who are not ambitious, it's you're hanging on to a part of yourself, because other people are just a reflection of who you are inside, who you believe yourself to be. So if you believe that you're poor, you're going to be hanging around with people who are poor. If you believe you're not ambitious, you're going to attract and manifest unambitious people around you. So just by letting go of people who are not ambitious, who are not intelligent, then you can free up the space to look for people and situations that are intelligent. Now, when I say other people are not intelligent, I don't mean to make a value judgment. It's just that they're not business smart. And if you want to get rich, you have to be business smart. Throw morals out the door. I totally disagree. Yes, you can become unethical. You can become a criminal, like the corrupt executives at Enron. You can make a lot of money fast by being unethical, by being criminal, by throwing your morals at the door, but it's never going to work in the long term. So this is really bad advice. Aim for 10 million. Yeah, it's good. But what happens is that if your desire is $10 million, it's for most people it's just too much. So their belief will resist that desire. So you want to have a desire that somehow is a little bit above your belief. So, for example, instead of aiming to make $10 million, you can aim to make maybe 10 or 20% more money than you're currently making. And after you've succeeded, then you can aim for 30% or for 50%. So you go incrementally, and the reason for that, for going progressively, is that it's easier for your belief system. Now, I'm not saying that you cannot aim for $10 million and really work your ass off in order to make $10 million in the next 5 years. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that for most people, it might not be believable. And therefore, if you have the aim, the goal, the desire to make $10 million, it's just going to remain like a fancy thought, and you're never going to take action because deep inside you know that it's not realistic. Yeah, this is a good one by Asdeen. Don't set your goal to become a millionaire, but develop an ethical business that will solve problems for your ideal client, and you will become a millionaire. Yeah, I agree with the idea of deep work, which is a book by Cal Newport. Deep work refers to work that you're really getting into, and it usually takes 2 to 3 hours to really get into that kind of work where you're creating something rare, something special, something unique, something desirable. And Cal Newport says in his book that it's not possible to go from one thing to another or to spend your time on social media or the internet and expect to create something valuable. That's not work. Work means that you spend 2 or 3 hours, sometimes 4 hours every day, and you block out that time. There's no distraction, and you focus on developing something important, a project, a product, etc. Well, reinvesting your profits is good, but if you generalize that idea, you can also reinvest your time savings. So let me give an example. If I create a script using AutoHotkey, which is a free script programming language, if I create a script that helps me to save, let's say, half an hour every day, then during that, I have an extra 30 minutes, then I can use this extra 30 minutes to try to save more time. In other words, by creating more scripts, more software programs, etc. So I'm reinvesting my time savings. And this is a very important idea. It's the idea of compounding, right? So, unfortunately, for most people who are employees, they don't experience the magical effects of compounding. So they're working every day. They're working, maybe they're increasing their productivity week to week, but their salary remains the same. They're getting the same paycheck every week. So either they're not increasing their productivity and that's why they're getting the same paycheck, or they're increasing their productivity and they're producing more surplus value to the employer, but the employer is keeping all the surplus value, and the employer is growing their profits, but you, the employee, you get paid the same paycheck. So that's not fair. So you have to be aware of this compounding effect. And if it's not possible for you to increase your salary or your commissions at your employer organization, then you got to create a side hustle or an online business where you can create the compounding phenomenon, which enables you to become more and more productive and therefore to make more and more money. Well, that is true. You got to identify a problem and you got to solve that problem for a certain group of people. Well, yeah, you got to take responsibility for all your results, but oftentimes it's you can't take responsibility things all the time because things happen, right? If something happens and it was outside of your control, you can't take responsibility, but you can develop responsibility. Responsibility means you're not reacting, you're developing your ability to respond in a positive, in a creative way to whatever happens to you. I don't know why people say that you have to be careful what you wish for. The problem is not so much that you have to be careful what you wish for. You have to stop wishing, okay? Because there's wishing and there's wanting. Like when you want something, it's more serious than wishing. Wishing is for kids. So there's wishing, there's wanting. Wanting is better, and there's committing. A lot of people want to become rich, but how many people commit to a certain daily schedule that will enable them to become rich? So just remember, there's wishing, there's wanting, and there's committing, and you got to commit to becoming rich. And by the way, this video is an expression of my commitment to become rich, because I'm actually expressing myself. I'm actually creating a video that hopefully will be helpful and useful to other people. Yeah, it's true that you got to put in the work, but the way that he puts it here, it sounds like you're a robot, 50 emails, 50 cold calls. And I understand what he's saying, but you should not forget the organic or the psychological aspect of this. You got to find a way to send out, 50 emails or 50 cold calls, but turn it into a game. Turn it into a game where you experience flow. And for example, today you might send 20 emails. Tomorrow it's going to be 21. The next day it's going to be 22. So just have a way to, turn your daily tasks into a game. And as with all games, you have four key components. You have the scope, so you have to clearly define the boundaries and the scope of the game. You have your capability, so here you have an email account. You might have copywriting skills, etc. So those are capabilities, and you can always acquire more capabilities. And then you have the obstacles, or what I call the challenges. So you have to identify what are the challenges in this game. For example, if you're just sending 50 emails, there's no challenge, right? You're just sending emails. But what if the challenge is when you send 50 emails, you have to get at least two people. So that's 4%. You have to get at least two people to respond to your email. So that, creates a challenge, and therefore it's going to be more fun as a game. And finally, the fourth element of a game is you got to keep score. So if you're just sending 50 emails, that's an input. It's not an output. The score depends on the output. So as with my example before, if you send 50 emails, maybe the goal or the score is to get 4% response. So you have to track the number of people who respond to your email. So that way, it becomes a game. Do the damn thing. That sounds simple, but most people know what they have to do in order to get rich. They know what they have to do every day. It's just that they don't have the willpower, or like I said before, the commitment to do it every day. So you have to force yourself to do what you must do. You have to do it. Now the problem, and here I'm gonna give you a trick. The problem is that you are not one person. It may sound scary, but let me explain. You have different personalities inside of you. So there's one personality that one day says, I'm gonna become a millionaire. And there's another personality that is weaker, that wants freedom in the frivolous sense, that wants to be spontaneous, that is wishing for this, wishing for that. That's a childish personality. Or that wants instant gratification. That's the hedonist personality. So there are many personalities within you, but when you set the goal, it's very important that you understand that the personality that is setting a goal must also predict how the other personalities will react. So for example, that you might set the goal today of becoming a millionaire, but tomorrow another personality within you will emerge and will say, well, I don't really want to become a millionaire. I just want to go watch a movie and have fun. So when you set a goal, you have to also create what I call non-freedom structures. Non-freedom means that you have to force your future self, tomorrow, in a week, you have to force your future self to stick to the goal, to stick to what you have to do, to, like I said, to commit, because only then will you do the damn thing. So it's not just a matter of doing the damn thing, because today you might do the damn thing, but tomorrow another personality takes over and you're not going to do the damn thing. You're going to do something else. You're going to do something that is going to waste your time. You're going to spend time on Facebook, etc. So you have to make sure that you control your daily schedule, and you block out all the distractions. You don't answer the phone anymore. You don't write comments here and there on Facebook. Facebook is like a huge time killer. It's like a black hole, and all your attention and energy and talent are going to be sucked into that black hole. You're going to waste your time. You're going to waste your life. Work on your obituary. Well, this might be a good idea in the sense that you want to start with the end in mind. This is what Stephen Covey talks about in his 1980s book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. What is your life all about? Now, this is not for everyone, because if you're in your early 20s, maybe it's not for you. But if you're over 30, you should know what your life is all about. So write your obituary, and you will know what your true work is all about. I give this advice to my graduates, by the way. I tell them, okay, you're looking for a job, but exactly, like, tell me exactly what is it that you want to do. Because if a job seeker cannot tell me, or better yet, write in a single page exactly what he or she wants to do, like is really passionate about, then there's no motivation, and they're just gonna send cover letters and resumes, and it's just gonna waste his time. And people feel that they're being active. Hey, I'm looking for a job, but you're just wasting your time. You gotta sit down and you gotta ask yourself, what is it? What is the kind of work? What is the line of work that I really want to do? And then commit 100% to doing that work. So, for example, you cannot be a digital marketing specialist or strategist. Like, just say it. If you're an SEO specialist, just say I'm an SEO specialist or analyst. If you're an email marketing guru, just say I'm an email marketing guru. I'm an email marketing specialist. I'm an email marketing expert. If you're a copywriting expert, just say that. If you're a content marketing specialist, just say I'm a content marketer. So you got to be very, very specific. Most people, for some reason, they don't want to be that specific, because maybe they feel that if I'm too specific in looking for a job, a lot of people will not consider me. But you know what? It's okay if they don't consider you, because you don't want their job anyways, right? So the way that I summarize this is that I tell people, if you have to explain to people, or if you have to tell people what your passion is, then you are not passionate enough, because your passion has to be so obvious to other people that they wouldn't even ask you, what is your passion? So one of my passions is calligraphy, and you go on my website, calligraphyforeveryone.com, you're going to see right away I'm passionate about calligraphy. At least I'm passionate enough to create an international membership organization to teach people calligraphy. So whatever your passion is, you got to implement it. You got to ground it. You make it obvious for people that this is my passion. This is what I do. This is the only thing that I do, right? So you got to convince people. Do the work, yes, but also document the work so that you can hire other people to do the work for you. No, get 2 jobs. That's really bad advice. You don't become a millionaire by working in a job. You become a millionaire by working on the job. In other words, you got to create the work procedures and the means of production and the work equipment so that you can put workers to work. Yeah, you should really look at all your Facebook friends and identify the people who are serious, ambitious, and financially or business savvy, and try to spend time with them. Well, signing a course is fine, but I think that it's more ethical and probably more effective if you teach people how to do something that you have been able to achieve consistently. So, for example, since 2017, I've been creating digital marketing courses. So I can really create a video course, let's say for $100, and I would teach people, experts in digital marketing or in business, how to create a college level course. I've done it many times, like 4 or 5 times. I also created a seminar for McGill University in 2009. So I really know the process. But the idea here is that whatever you've done consistently well, that's what you should be teaching people in your video course. And I say video course because, video is more, it's richer than just a textbook. Yeah, growing your audience, like even if you don't have an offer or a product, you have to grow your audience. You have to grow your tribe. It's not, you might be wasting time if you're just reading posts like this, but if you're using those posts to drive your content development like what I'm doing right now, then you're not wasting time. It's not really about making more money, it's about making more assets, okay? Because if you're making money, then you're an employee or freelancer. But when you're building or acquiring assets, that's when you become an entrepreneur. Yeah, there are different kinds of credit. It's not just, financial credit, which is what most people immediately think about. There's credit that comes from, for example, your status, or your achievement, right? So, for example, I'm a college professor. So when I tell people I'm a professor, right away, like I can see in their body language that they treat me differently because for some, the a professor is very respected, especially a college professor, a university professor. So I'm leveraging that status as a professor. Yeah, a lot of people say that, to create a product or create a company, you got to solve a problem that other people experience. But I find that if you solve your problem, number one, you're going to be more motivated to solve the problem because it's your problem. Number two, um, you're going to create a very good solution because you're serving yourself. So that's one thing that a lot of people don't realize. It's a great opportunity. So, for example, if you have problems getting a job, then solve that problem. Like, talk to people, read books, attend seminars so that you can actually get your dream job. And after that, you can teach people how to get their dream job the way that you've done it. Maybe they're not going to do exactly the same way, but you're going to develop ideas and techniques that will help them, and they will take the techniques and ideas that resonate with them. Yeah, this is actually pretty good advice. Sleep more, work less. In other words, play more, like be flexible. By working less, what I mean is that you have to look at the universe and how your life is unfolding and identify the opportunities. A lot of people, they just, they have this tunnel vision, right? And they just work hard and they hustle and they work hard, they work hard, they work hard. But while they're working hard, they're not really taking a look around and see all the opportunities, all the assets, all the people that could be helping them. So sometimes you got to work less and just relax and just take a deep breath and see what's around you, what's available that you can leverage. Yeah, make decisions from your future millionaire self. In other words, and this is the advice that Thomas Watson, the founder of IBM, he gave to his elite sales force. He would tell his salespeople, close your eyes, right, and picture the person that you would be 5 years from now. What would he be wearing? What would he be driving as a car? What kind of house would he be living in? And after a few minutes, where he allows his salespeople to have this vision in their heads, he would just tell them, now open your eyes and start acting like your future self 5 years from now. This is amazing. Like I said before, every single moment you have an opportunity to audition for the role that you're going to be playing 1 year from now. So if you act the way that you've been acting, then you will always get what you've always gotten. So you have to start acting differently. You have to start dressing differently. You have to start eating. You have to start cooking. You have to start walking differently and thinking differently. Because unless you make those changes, nothing around you, nothing in your life is going to change. Yeah, selling is good, but it's even better if you're training people to sell for you. So if you have a product or a service, you got to train other people on how they can sell you. And if there's not even one person who is willing and able to sell you, then maybe your product or your service is not clear enough. And this is advice I'm giving to job seekers. Like, try to get one person to promote you, and that person is like your agent. He's supposed to get a job offer for you. Now, if that person doesn't understand what kind of job you're looking for, then maybe your career goal or your job objective is not clear, and in which case you have to clarify what is it that you really want. So there's a lot of comments. I will continue some other time, but the idea behind this video is that you can take other people's comments and you can create a video and you can mix the comments with your own thoughts, and you can create a video that will be provocative, that will help people to think more clearly, hopefully, and you can provide advice. But without these comments, it would have been hard for me to, not impossible, but it would have been hard to come up with ideas and recommendations. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video, and good luck in your journey to become a millionaire. And I'll talk to you more in the next video.